Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the California Touge podcast. I'm Dangle, as always, the Miata driver, and with me I have Nero with his Lincoln Town car. Say hello.
Hello.
And we have, of course, a returning guest, Liam, with his something.
Nothing. Fucking nothing.
Yeah, with that. Of course, we have Tez with his BRZ and the other Miata driver, Travis, as well.
Hey, it's your boy, T.
T.
Yeah.
Little T or big T?
Iced tea.
Are you the little T or the big T, Travis?
And Travis is already fucked off.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he already fell asleep.
Yeah, we already fell asleep. But Sleepy Boy over there, that's how he's going to cruise through this podcast. So first thing I wanted to go through here is actually I wanted to talk to our old friend Liam. It's been a long time since you joined us on the podcast, since you moved over to Somalia, pirating, truck tires and shit. What's been going on with you?
Sweden 2.0. I've been my Suburban, my Chevrolet Suburban, is in a death spiral.
I mean, it wasn't already in a death spiral.
No, it was fine. It was fine at first. I mean, it towed a huge load of like all our furniture and stuff all the way across the country through like the middle of 120-degree heat and through like Arizona and Utah.
Because since you owned it, it has to be in a bit death spiral.
That's the thing. Like, it was doing great, but now it's not even like the engine is having problems. It's like the other day. I just tried to open my door and the door handle just bent off and snapped into my hand. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, that's just a standard Chevy thing.
Yeah, that's a feature.
Yeah, it's a feature. It's made out of metal, and it just decided that it was going to be like, you know what? My time has come. I know you want to get out of the car, but no. And that wouldn't be so much a problem if the fact that my windows have a very strange thing that the driver's side window now does a thing where if you try to roll it down, sometimes it'll just be like, I'm just going to stay open forever.
Once again, that's a feature.
That's
just GM things.
Yeah, it's really
kind
cool.
of actually known for bad interior quality.
What else about? I mean, fuck, I don't know.
Alto, man.
What?
We haven't heard that in your Alto. We haven't heard that in forever.
My what?
Your Alto.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Your Alto.
Okay, there actually has been some updates with it. Okay, so it's been sitting.
Did they find your shit?
No, of course not. I ordered it, and so now it's being shipped to my father-in-law's friend's place. His name is Wolfgang. He's a German immigrant, and he builds transmissions for a living.
Based.
So he's going to be assembling it. I had all the parts sent directly to him because fuck Yimmy Sport. They've literally, I don't think they've done like anything to my car since it arrived there last March.
Wow.
March. Yeah. Wow.
So did you just like have it like transported there and then just hope that they would like?
Well, no, they were the only place that agreed to work on it.
Really?
And then they get it, and guess who still doesn't have a fucking quote on their service yet?
You.
Yeah, I don't have. They still haven't even like written me, especially now considering that they're not rebuilding my transmission. It's like, just tell me how much. It's just.
What have they even done for you though? It's like what have they actually done?
They've built me an exhaust manifold.
Amazing.
Really like a. At least they say they have. A really cheapo, like not even like a fancy one, like just literally just like 3 pipes going to the fucking manifold kind of thing. Because I ordered a Garrett GT12 turbo for my Alto. And that's one of the fun bits is that turbo will fit the F6A single overhead cam turbo engine found in the Suzuki Mighty Boy, but it will not fit the exhaust manifold that is found on the double overhead cam F6A turbo.
Oh yeah, the venerable single overhead cam F6A from the Suzuki Mighty Boy.
I've never heard of a
Paying
Mighty
attention.
Boy until now, and I
Yeah,
just
well,
Googled
that's
it, and
because
this is
they are
hilarious.
weird. There's a reason you haven't heard of a Mighty Boy. It was a 2-wheel drive, 2-seater K truck.
This is hilarious. Just looking at the
Trash.
photos of this.
Yeah,
it,
it's a
it has
weird
a bed
car.
the size of like I don't know, like a
You could fit a PS3 in there. Maybe that's about it.
yeah PS3 and a TV.
Tez might be able to fit in the bed if he squeezed his stomach in.
So that was. But they have there's a huge forum, and that forum was really active because the Mighty Boy is very popular in Australia. So
Of
I was able to
course.
find a bunch of
In
info
Australia.
about F6A engines, but the one thing that like apparently does not line up is the fact that the turbo manifold is completely different, which is awesome.
That's just the fun part about working with obscure Japanese cars.
Well, the thing is, I just recently joined a fucking it was a Facebook group for the C chassis Suzuki Altos. So
That's
only
very
C
specific.
chassis. Yes, there's only 40
Yeah.
members.
Oh boy.
Nice.
But
There's
the
probably a
guy,
good chance that one of those 40 members might actually
well,
be
that's
pretty
there's the
experienced.
thing. The guy who runs the group lives in Japan and drives basically exclusively Suzuki K cars.
Damn.
And
He will be the best source for it.
he is. And there's a couple other guys in there who know a shit ton too. And well, the super surprise here, you're getting it exclusive. This is the first I've actually told like fucking anyone. I don't know where I read that the Suzuki Alto can only take 120 horsepower, but that's a lie.
Oh.
It turns out that the gearbox will happily chug along all day with 160 horsepower.
Damn.
Oh. That's nice
pretty
for that
nice.
little car.
Well, for a car that weighs less, mine's going to probably weigh less than 1,400 pounds.
Oh yeah, no, that's easily fantastic.
So, and he was telling me about how he did for quite a while run a Suzuki Cappuccino with 180 horsepower.
Jeez.
Holy
Wait.
crap.
Before it blew up. But it was like 6 years of running it with 180.
And I'm assuming these are like stock engines. Like,
Yeah, no, this is. Oh no, I do have to get forged pistons to deal with the heat because apparently it will get very hot. It's a lot of stress. But mine, the car I have, the previous owner, he already put in forged connecting rods.
Oh.
And also it's a slight oversize. I don't know what it's such a, it's again, that's like the thing is like,
cc.
it's like 5 cc oversize.
So it's like 666 cc or something.
Yeah, I think it's like 670 actually.
Oh, okay.
You can also run like race fuel or E85 to reduce temps too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we have that up here, and
Oh, you guys actually have it over there?
oh, it's
Like
all over the
85?
place. Yeah, the
Wow.
pump in my house sells it. It's like $2 a gallon.
ooh, nice.
Well, that may be cheaper, like you think at first, but you burn through the shit like
Yeah, yeah.
no tomorrow.
But I mean, also it's a Suzuki Alto.
That's true.
What else about it? Like, it'll be interesting when it's finally done. I don't know when the hell that's going to be, but I need to order forged pistons for it. And he said that the best way it's never them blowing up the gearbox or the transmission or the drivetrain. It's always that they end up running lean. So I'm going to get an air fuel ratio meter to slap on my dash. I don't care about the boost gauge. I just need that. And that's what I'm going for next.
Isn't boost for a gauge like kind of pointless anyways?
No.
I don't know. I mean, especially on this thing, probably.
Well, no, like I don't know. I feel like someone explained it. Never mind. Someone explained to me something that I am forgetting now. So I'll when I remember it, I'll explain it later.
God damn it! Like I of course, because I have an addiction, I said I'm gonna open up Craigslist right now, and like there's a fucking Alto Works RSR CS22S for sale in Massachusetts for $5,500.
I mean, that's a lot.
And it's way cleaner than mine. At least
Well,
I
you
don't
already
know.
have yours.
The interior is. The interior
You
is a lot
masochist,
bigger.
you already have one, so I even
need more.
you need more.
more.
Go get a cappuccino too instead.
No.
Oh,
Cappuccinos
come
are a
on.
meme.
I'm gonna get a cappuccino.
Cappuccino is
Cappuccinos
way
are cool.
more.
Worst
I like 'em.
Miata.
Yeah, it's worse beyond, but it's still cool. I can like it.
No, it's not.
But it weighs more
Yeah.
than an Alto.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Um,
Do K-swap into a Suzuki Cappuccino, you got yourself a little screamer.
Have you ever that?
well, it's try fitting a K type
Yeah.
K engine
You
in there.
can fit you can fit a K20 in there. It's been swapped.
Okay, I mean, if you want to spend all that money,
You could probably buy a Porsche 911 for that kind of money, and it would walk the shit out of it.
yeah, that's the point. Like,
You're not wrong.
the only reason I fucking bought this car is because I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with an engine swap. I want a tiny car that doesn't need to be engine swapped.
That's fair.
And it's like,
I mean, that's what I want the cappuccino for, because if I get one, I don't really want to do engine swap or actually do much modification. I just want to have a little tiny car. That's basically it. A tinier car.
Bro,
The tiniest car.
Paul, you're gonna have the worst time fitting into a cappuccino.
Cappuccinos are okay. Apparently Honda Beats are better for long-legged.
I mean, these are literally designed for like the Asian market.
No, the fucking Beat will like the seat goes back far enough that you can fit someone who's like 6'5" with ease.
Huh. All right. Okay.
But then again, don't get a Beat because there's nothing you can do except engine swap it.
I don't like Beats anyways. They're like as far as Hondas go, they're kind of really ugly.
Well, it's like that engine is on the brink of exploding stock. Because they don't want to put a turbocharger in it. We should just release this as naturally aspirated.
Oh, so it's a naturally aspirated 660cc.
Yeah, and if you try to do anything to it, it just explodes. Yeah, put a turbo on it, explodes.
Power per liter NA, that's like really good, but the problem is that's still really bad because it's 63 horsepower. But you look at that, that's almost like 1 horsepower per 10 cc. Like if my Vic had that from the factory, it would have 460 horsepower.
Yeah, no, like just imagine it. They did it by just like running it as close to lean as possible, and with tolerances super tight, and a water pump that will explode at some point.
And I can actually transition this as a segue. You know the E92 M3? I don't know about a segue, but the E92 M3, it has a 4.0 liter naturally aspirated V8, and it makes about 415 horsepower from the factory. That is an untunable engine, effectively. No one bothers with those at all. Just super unreliable. They constantly break down because the engine is already being pushed to the limit of what it can do NA. Meanwhile, the turbos, like the N54, you can just do all kinds of stuff with them.
God damn it.
But realistically, for tuning, something that comes off a turbo from the factory can hopefully have some level of potential to take advantage of down the road.
I love that I looked up E92 M3, and the third image is Doug DeMuro like shrugging and looking at it with a weird look on his face.
Accurate.
It's not worth the money that some people paid for it when it came out.
Just, real quick, I did verify there have been K20 swaps in the Honda Beat, of course, and it's based.
Oh God! But do you know how much? That's like
$30,000.
That's not even the same car anymore. Like you could just build a tube chassis for that amount of money.
I mean, that's fair, but still, it's cool. I mean,
so
once again,
you take a shit car and you put an engine from a slightly less shit car in it, and you now have less money in your bank account.
The K20 is not a shit engine.
It's okay.
Have you seen how much how much boost a K20 can make?
Honda K20 makes no boost.
What you could turbo it and it can go really fast.
The turbo makes boost, bro.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
fucking Nero, you make boost in your brain.
I do make boost.
You're going over pressure. Your exhaust manifold's about to blow up, bro.
See, I imagine Nero's brain is like supercharged, and Tez, your brain is turbocharged. You're lagging a little bit behind there. Anyway.
Maybe as Tez recirculates his exhaust gases into his intake.
Anyway, One last thing I actually did want to ask Liam. What happened to you? Said you got a Saab at one point. What's actually happened to that?
Oh, well, it was okay. Like, it wasn't bad. It was just that because it was a turbocharged 2-liter and it was technically a 2-door, my insurance company wanted $300 a month for it.
Damn. That's
What?
It's like, this thing's a piece of shit. Like, what the fuck do you, what, are you stupid?
Wait, how is that? Wait, $300 I pay less. I pay less of the BRZ. All right.
You don't, wait, but is
That's
your
'cause
BRZ
naturally
turbocharged?
aspirated.
It is naturally aspirated. That is
The Saab is basically a BRZ with a turbocharger.
true. No.
So
No.
when I had my Sonic, that Sonic was turbocharged, newer.
It was a
and
4-door.
And I actually paid full coverage for that, and it's still less than $300 a month of what I paid for insurance.
Yeah,
Because
I
it was a
pay
four-door.
full coverage for the BRZ, and it's like $202, I think.
Yeah, how many cars have you totaled?
It's all the factors
Zero.
combined.
Literally zero.
Yeah, see,
I
that
have
might,
had
that might be
zero
a contributing
crashes.
factor.
I had one speeding ticket, and I got it pulled out because I did the speeding, what's called the ticket school or whatever it's called. So
So I mean, you have to consider, like, Tez has gone off the freeway at like 80. He's slightly scuffed his car. He's hit the same wall 3 times. He's slightly scuffed his car each time. Fucking dumbass.
if anything, I've been extremely lucky. Hopefully that luck keeps up.
I would suggest, like, Saabs are okay, but
I should have bought it from you. I'm still upset. I should have bought that Saab. I should have.
It's okay, dude. I would say there's better ones in better.
I fucking love
condition for, like,
Saabs.
the
Like,
same
they're
fucking
so
price. Like, you can find good Saabs for not very much money.
I
But
mean,
at the end of the day, it is a bastard child GMC, like, Swedish gremlin that,
airplane.
yeah, I mean, the dash and the interior looked like a fucking. I mean, that was their whole point. Oh, we're gonna design it to look like one of our jet planes. I mean,
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, we made it look like a jet plane. We also made it as unreliable as one.
like what? Like, one of the best bits I remember reading up. I was like, why has my dash stopped working? Like, everything on the center console. Everything on the center console was just like, nah. Clock's not working. Odometer's not working. The speedometer was working.
That's all you need.
From what I've seen, there are 2 major problems with any Saab.
Oh,
The first one is that it could be a collaboration with GM. The second one is it might be not a collaboration with anyone.
like,
But then there are good ones like the 92X Aero.
here's where it comes through, the insanity. I'm like, why is it doing this? And they're like, okay, it could be 2 things. One, you need to get the instrument panel ECU, which you cannot get anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a separate ECU that controls all the electronics.
That's
Wait,
dumb.
that is really retarded.
You'd have to go like full custom gauges at that point.
And then there's the other issue, is that the I think it's the subwoofer controller underneath the driver's side, the driver. If that goes out, then all the electronics are kaput.
You want to know something funny, Liam?
It's fucking magical.
Now that you mention that, so the factory amplifier in my Lincoln,
Yeah.
I found out that if I unplugged it, the trunk will not latch.
See, there's a lot of shit like that.
The latch on the trunk is electronic, and if the amplifier isn't plugged in, there's a pass-through for that latch. You cannot close the trunk. End of story.
Awesome.
So
That's a feature.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's some brilliant engineering or
So yeah,
magic
that,
engineering.
basically imagine like that. Everything in the Saab is that.
And then my favorite part was, so I had unplugged the amplifier, and that was no big deal. The trunk wouldn't close. So I plug it back in, the car alarm goes off. So the car alarm went off when I plugged it back in, but not when I unplugged it. What the
I
fuck is
might
the
I
purpose
might
of
have
that?
an explanation for that, is because a lot of older cars, like if something fucks with the radio, it'll set off the car alarm because it was like, oh, someone's stealing the radio because it's so fucking valuable. I mean, it was, but not anymore.
It could be, but it's an 09, but the alarm didn't go off when I unplugged it. You think that's what would be when it goes off?
I don't.
It only
don't
happened when I plugged it back in.
Electronics.
You know what? I was just thinking about this with Saabs. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously Saab makes airplanes, right?
Yeah.
So by that logic, what if they just thought the concept of reliability was one that didn't exist because they're so used to like, they have a fleet of their airplanes purchased by a military. They're always buying parts from them, and they got people who are paid to maintain these at all times so that they're always flight ready, right? Maybe they just figured that every person has a pit crew of mechanics at their disposal that can pay an infinite amount of money to keep their car running at all times.
Or alternatively, wait, hold on. Let's see. I might have a confirmation for this theory. Alternatively, they're fucking Swedish.
My question is, everyone talks about Saab making planes. What planes did they make?
They made a bunch of fighter jets.
Like, are there any like popular, well-known planes?
I think they're
like the Gripen or something.
Hold on,
I think there's something called the Gripen. That's all I remember.
Aircraft, civilian aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles. They make missiles.
JAS, the JAS-39 Gripen.
They make a lot of interesting. JAS Gripen.
It's used by the Swedish Air Force, South African Air Force, Brazilian Air Force, Czech Air Force, Hungarian Air Force, Royal Thai Air Force.
Does the Swedish Air Force use it?
Yeah. That was the first one.
Okay.
This explains everything.
So don't laugh. Don't laugh.
What do you mean?
I'm thinking about moving to Sweden.
Don't do it.
I'm thinking about moving to fucking Sweden.
Good luck moving to that socialist hellhole.
I mean, he'll get right in. He's coming from Somalia right now.
Yeah.
So you'll be welcome with open arms.
I'm basically black.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I've been talking with some people who live in Sweden, and I am finding out every day that, oh no, the U.S. can't laugh at Sweden because they've completely just dominated us in so many things that we like to brag about. For instance, okay, so in the north of Sweden, there are 9 guns for every 1 person.
Nice.
But here's where it gets better.
That's so based.
If you get your firearms license, it is the same under Swedish law. A bolt-action hunting rifle is the same as a short-barreled, fully automatic machine gun.
Nice.
Wait? Am I stupid? Wait.
Yes, but what does this have to do with this current discussion?
Wait, I'm confused. True. Well, no, but what I'm confused about is how are they the same to them?
It's a firearm.
Oh, I see. So you're saying that effectively the firearm doesn't matter, essentially. There's not many restrictions.
You get your firearms license, and then they're like, "Oh, which gun do you want to buy?" And then they send you to one of the brokers. Like they direct you to a local broker, and they're like,
they'll buy you virtually anything.
He should have a Heckler & Koch G36 assault rifle for sale. You go there.
That is spectacular.
And that was where I was talking with the dude, and he's like, we have invasive pigs, feral pigs in Sweden, and the government has actually suggested that the best thing to go out and kill invasive pigs with is that you should go out and get yourself a fully automatic machine gun.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you gotta have the advantage against the pigs, right? There's
no such thing as a short-barreled rifle. So you can have a barrel length however long you want. During and slightly after the Cold War, I think it's the MG42.
We should probably get back to discussion too about car talk.
I'm gonna get back to cars, but it's just they basically they gave out free MG42s after you served your term of service in Sweden to take home. Just go ahead and take home this MG42 with you. It's free.
Oh yeah. Here, just have this fully automatic machine gun.
Fully automatic, like anti-tank machine gun. Go ahead, it's yours. Have fun.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind when I join the IKEA Foreign Army. So,
anyway, sign me the fuck up. To cars.
I want an IKEA attack rig.
Also, on the same note, fuck Sweden, because they never gave us the 300 series, the Volvo 300. Which
I'm not familiar with it because
no, you're
yeah.
not going to be, because it basically, imagine it looks almost identical to a Saab, but it's rear wheel drive,
interesting.
and they made some really fucking cool ones. And yeah, my favorite was like the turbo series was just insane. It was a rear wheel drive, either 5 or 3 door hatchback. And there's a stupid there's a stupid amount of videos of people drifting these things, because apparently they were really easy. It's like Sweden's drift car.
I don't know if you know about this one. Sorry, Derek. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, that's nice and all, but the thing is, we can't really get that here.
I mean,
No,
they're
you
25
can.
years. They're 25 years or older now.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Look, I posted a picture. That's my favorite edition, the 360.
Well, who's
You know,
going to
you can
import
get here?
that though?
Dude, I saw a fucking Skoda 160 that was imported the other day.
Congratulations.
That is,
What is
if
that?
someone's importing a fucking Skoda,
Is it good on the canyons?
no, Skodas are horrible. Skodas are
See,
horrible.
this further supports the fact that Liam only likes extremely obscure cars that suck at driving.
Yeah.
Well, no,
pretty
the
much.
only reason,
sucks at
no, it's
driving.
not that their handling is bad. It's that they only made like 30 horsepower.
Oh,
So like
I remember seeing, because I wanted to see if anyone had imported a Skoda 160, which was like their actual sport model. But there's a fucking Skoda 120 that was for sale for $4,000, which makes me wonder, like, wait, how much did it cost for them to buy that? Because it's like $2,000 to import a car. So that's a $2,000 car that someone imported.
Liam, you know what car is sold in Sweden and Finland, or was, and it's actually very popular there as, like, sort of a sports car, or even, a drift car, is the Opel Omega. And the funny thing about the Opel Omega, is that they actually sold it in America as the Cadillac Catera.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I think we have a different Opel. What the
Cadillac
fuck is this thing?
Well, basically, it's a 3-liter V6, and I think it had a manual transmission available in Europe, but because we're in America, it only has a automatic. But I did think it would be funny to get one of those things, and it is rear-wheel drive, so you could probably use it as some kind of like dumbass sleeper for canyons or some kind of shit.
This thing's
or even a
hilarious.
drift car. This thing's interesting.
Yeah, you could definitely use
It's
those.
so ugly. I love it.
Oh, it's
That's what I'm
ugly as
saying.
all
A lot of
sin.
American cars that are rear-wheel drive, no one cares about, but because they're ugly. But that makes them a great choice for canyon driving.
Oh, I really like it. It's 200 horsepower stock from the factory. That's not bad for a 3,700 pound car.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
No, for a piece of shit like this.
Oh yeah, well, but the thing is, if there's an aftermarket in those European countries, I'd imagine that you can get those parts and put them on your Cadillac Catera.
That'd be pretty
I'd say that's
interesting.
fair. But I guess the problem is, like, because it's still based off of basically as a European car, like the aftermarket might still be a little difficult to some degree.
Actually, you should see. Because actually, I've been looking into Opels, because I've been talking with some guys who do import their own cars. They don't go through a broker. And I was like, okay, what's the best country to import shit from? Ireland has a very, very active, like their car, their car trade, their equivalent of Craigslist, is extremely focused. It's like they have an entire category just for rally cars.
Huh.
So I was looking around, and I found a have you ever heard of an Opel Manta?
What? No.
Yes.
I'm looking this up.
It's a very
it's cute.
Look at the GSI version.
GSI.
Those things are actually pretty cool. I believe I became familiarized with that vehicle because in my summer car, which takes place in Finland, that's one of the NPC rally cars you can see driving around on the rally.
Gotcha. Yep.
Look at this thing. It's sick.
Yeah, they're really cool. It's just that, yeah, like I don't know why this wasn't fucking sold in the US. Like, holy shit, it looks like it would compete pretty well with.
When has anything that should be sold in the US been typically sold in the US? Not always.
Never fucking is.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, maybe. Let's give it like a 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, the Opel Manta, but yeah, Ireland has a great car selection. I was originally looking at Italy because they have some really fucking terrifying race cars that go for sale over there, like a Fiat 500 with a Boxer 4 from a Alfa Romeo 33 crammed into the back of it.
What?
Oh yeah, here's a fun fact. Okay, pop quiz. What car came in a sedan and a wagon form, was all-wheel drive, and used a Boxer 4 engine?
A WRX.
Yeah.
No, the Alfa Romeo 30.
What car? Oh, here's a good one for you. What car was sold as both a Japanese and American brand in coupe, sedan, and convertible configurations that were all on a different platform?
Oh, I have no fucking idea.
Oh,
the Chrysler Sebring.
Oh,
the Chrysler Sebring coupe, sedan, and convertible were all a different platform from each other, and the coupe was the exact same as the third gen Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Huh. Oh,
you mentioned this before. I remember that.
Between the coupe, sedan, and convertible, there was not a single shared body piece.
Weird.
And this is for a fucking Chrysler Sebring.
The thing I just posted, that is an Alfa Romeo 33 Sport Wagon.
Yeah.
And it is an all-wheel drive Boxer 4 wagon.
Looks kind of shitty, but
they're okay.
Are those
they're not nothing to write home about, but I just think it's funny that the Italians during the 80s also made an all-wheel drive Boxer 4 powered sedan / wagon.
Those look like 80s Civic wheels.
Actually, let me see. Yeah, but here's the thing. The Boxer 4, the Alfa Romeo Boxer engine might have the most beautiful intake manifold to ever be put onto a car.
Okay.
God damn it! Let me find a good.
What's it have on it? I mean, like
it's just fancy as all hell. It's just this big, blaring red solid piece. Looks like a four-legged spider on top of the engine.
That looks kind of goofy in my opinion. But
yeah, I gotta actually see that into cars to see how that works.
I'm trying to find it. I used to have. Oh, there you go. That's a great picture. It reminds me of.
It reminds me of the 2017 Plus intake manifolds for the BRZ.
Speaking of the BRZ, actually mounted in the engine with that cold air intake, it looks rather nice.
Yeah, it does kind of. Does it not look like a face hugger from Aliens though?
It kind of does.
Yeah, kind of.
The BRZ does the same thing.
But speaking of the BRZ, I mean, we've been talking about a bunch of shitty old ship boxes, right? Let's talk about a shitty new ship box. 2022 BRZ is coming out, and James, what are your thoughts on this car as the resident BRZ enthusiast expert?
Shill, thank you very much. Not
Shill.
Just there's a difference here. I personally am gonna say what everyone expects me to say. I think it's gonna be good. I have no complaints about it. Basically, they bumped up the horsepower, gave it a higher liter engine to get that extra horsepower, but like, I don't know if that. I don't know how necessary really that was, but whatever. They kept it rear-wheel drive. They kept it the same chassis essentially with some improvements. They improved the exterior look, in my personal opinion. Basically, just it's what I'm frustrated about with the car is it seems like they did everything better, like to improve its overall like look and its feel, its handling, its power, etc. And they made all this fanfare for what officially would really be a refresh at best, because all they did was improve the engine, like they put a better engine in there, and then improve the exterior a little bit, and then the rest of the stuff, it's like any manufacturer could say, oh, in this generation we made it stiffer for chassis rigidity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, okay, like I don't feel like it needed as much fanfare as Subaru led on to be, especially when people were really hoping for a turbo variant. But like otherwise, I mean, I think it's going to be a good car. Like it's still focused around the driver. There's only like it basically is in the spirit of like a Miata or like an S2000. And if they manage to improve the power realistically on a dyno, then I have zero complaints. But I want the dyno to hit, because right now there's a lot of theories right now about did they fix the torque dip. And there's some photos and stuff of people showing like the torque graph that's on like the digital display, saying, hey, there's no torque dip, but like, I don't believe it. I want to see the dyno first before they talk about how much better it is,
We here at Subaru have much improved torque dip, made much deeper.
You see, and that's the problem. I feel like they might have done that. Who knows?
It gets up to like 3,000 RPM, and you just see the torque go down to 0.
The car just straight up dies.
No
torque.
So
yeah, it's just stalls.
The moment Subaru or Toyota or both of them have not actually released like data, like numbers for the BRZ.
They stated that it's 228 horsepower and like it's like 180 something torque, or 83. I can't remember the number. 183 or 193. I can't remember the exact number for the torque, which is a marginally better improvement. Yeah, but like I want to see it on a dyno graph, because at the end of the day, the Miata and the S2000 have a linear power band that it doesn't have any dips in the performance for your torque that are massive. They still suck at torque on the lower power band part of the power band, but at least it builds up, and it's like a linear. The BRZ previously wasn't linear. Basically, torque would hit 90% peak, or sorry, it looks like more like 85% peak at 3,000. Then it dips from 3,000 to 4,500 RPM, and then from there you pretty much work your way up to peak torque, but you're at like 80% torque, working your way up from there. So at least you're close to your peak torque for the most part, except for the dip, but it's not linear. Like it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just like you have this valley of torque that you lose, and it makes the car feel a lot more sluggish than it really is.
Okay,
so I don't want that with the new car. Like if they could literally, if a dyno comes out and it shows that it's like no longer has this massive torque dip, then I don't think anybody could complain about this car anymore, at least when it comes to its horsepower, because it's in the spirit of like a fun driver's car that's naturally aspirated that you can rev out and play with,
Tez.
Yeah.
Tez. If they haven't released the dyno sheet yet, it means they didn't fix it.
Shut up. That's not how that works.
It's gonna be the same.
Shut up. You drive an Alto.
Did they put into the 2022 version? No.
It's a FA 2.4 liter from the new Subaru Ascent. And the problem is there's already been a shit ton of complaints about that vehicle. And some of them are engine related. Hopefully they've worked. Shush.
No turbo. Hello.
It is obviously turbo on the Ascent, but here's the problem: is unless they fixed those problems that were reported, which I don't remember what they were or even read into it, unless they fix any of the performance issues that they talked about or the reliability problems that engine had, then BRZ might end up being a total shit box. But we have to keep in mind that just like with the WRX, sure, it shared the FA nomenclature, not nomenclature, the engine code, and it says FA 2.0, just like the WRX was. It was not the same block at all. Actually, they share very little similarities between the original FA 220 from the BRZ to the WRX. So in that same vein, I'm fairly certain they're going to revamp the block for the BRZ, so they may actually make it better. You may have learned a lot of things from the Ascent's recent, up like the beginning, and saw what problems it had and improves upon it. Like we'll see. Nothing's really set in stone until it comes out, right?
Yeah, the thing is, wait till it comes out. But the one that probably, things that was probably on a lot of people's mind, is it moddable? Can you tune it? Because I believe with the
tuning,
original,
I doubt.
Yeah, because with the original BRZ, like tuning that FA engine was horrible, nightmarish in some ways.
So not nightmarish per se. So on a naturally aspirated perspective, it sucks. But let's be real here. Every two liter four banger or any type of four banger, like there really is like, if they're non-turbo from the factory, they're high compression. The tunability is kind of like there's a maximum that you'll hit no matter what, right? And the only thing is, I don't think it's going to get any better for the next generation BRZ. So the current compression ratio of the FA20 and the BRZ is 12.5 to 1, which is pretty high, but you still have some headroom to work with from what I've heard. And if you supercharge it, with a modest amount of pressure, 7 psi, you can get like 280 to the crank, which is not terrible for its weight. But the problem is, from everything I've read, the compression ratio is being bumped up to 13.5 to 1. And your headroom is just going away very quickly. I personally don't think the engine's going to be any more tunable. I actually think this engine is already being wrung out really hard.
Engine is perfect. You no need to improve it.
Basically.
2.4. I mean,
we'll see. I don't know. Like,
you do have the extra displacement, but why do they even need a higher compression ratio anyway?
Things I don't know. That's the problem. I don't understand why they did it. At the very least, my logic is, at the very least, they could have been like, okay, we're not going to throw a turbo on this, but maybe we include lower compression pistons so that if you do want to tune it, you can actually make some power. That would have been nice. If they could get a compression ratio of like even 10.5, okay, that gives like so much more headroom. Yeah, exactly. And that would be nice. You get headroom, but I don't know. It's super stupid. I can't fucking win. I don't know. I'm not buying that thing when it comes out, but I would be happy to see if they made some improvements, but the compression ratio is not exactly making me confident.
I've got a topic about tuning.
Well, one moment here. So I just want to make one final comment on the BRZ.
Yes.
I think it's going to be marginally better, but I also think it looks like shit in the front. The rear, I think, looks better.
Preference.
I think the rear looks better, and I think the front looks like a demonic hell creature.
I'd rather have a Lotta Riva.
Well, yeah.
Whoa. Don't talk about Lottas, all right?
I mean, the way cars are looking these days, I mean, everyone's also seen the new Civic and how that looks.
Oh, it looks so good. So much. It's so refined. Isn't that the problem with the BRZ, actually, on that subject of its look? As much as I am okay if its looks, it's trying too hard. This is just like how I feel about the 400Z. Like, they're trying too hard to make it kind of like, how do I put it, like future modern, and they kind of kill the character of the cars quite a bit. I don't know.
They're making it so modern that it will be out of fashion within like 2 years.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Remember the S197 Mustang? The one that came out in 2005. It's so retro and modern. Now look at it. It's fucking ugly.
SN195? Is that the one?
S197.
197.
Yeah, the S197 is the one that came after the new Edge.
How many times can I?
You know the guy.
Oh yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one likes
the problem.
Look at the HHR. Look at the PT Cruiser. Look at any car that was like retro modern styled up until
the HHR has a special place in my heart just because they made those weird performance models that just don't make any fucking sense.
But here's the thing.
HHRSS. It's faster than the BRZ on Nürburgring.
I want to make a point here, right? So the problem I have is easily, even though the S197 is not exactly a beautiful car, give it, I'd say 20 years, people might start to like it again. And it might have a place in the aesthetic that it has for what it is. And it might be eventually a collector's at one point. Who knows? But the problem is, here's the point. The new BRZ, as much as I like the look of it, will never look like a collector's car. I don't think none of these new cars have enough personality and like beauty to them in some ways, in my opinion, to really like set themselves apart in any way. Like I actually find that the current generation BRZ might end up becoming more popular because of its looks than the current gen and the new gen that's coming out. That's just me.
I'm just imagining all these cars with these like really, really sharp styling points that like 10 years from now, like people look at them and that like all the sharp points have been like smoothed down, like they've become dull. It's like, oh God, what the fuck happened to that thing?
I think the 400Z will be appreciated in the future because it is like, I don't know. I don't think it's like ugly or really too modern looking.
I like the look of it too. I'm kind of like torn about the front end.
Yeah, but it's like the 400Z isn't really ugly. Like it's still very obviously a Z, and yeah, I mean that's what it is. Yeah. But you take some cars and they're just blobs.
Well, I want to make the point that the 400Z at the very least is a massive improvement over its predecessor, and that's what will make it set itself apart. A minor improvement for like the new BRZ will not set itself apart. It will be like, in my opinion, for all intents and purposes, will be considered a refreshed at best. That's what I feel like it's going to come down to at the end of the day. But the 400Z is no damn refresh. It's a new damn car, and it's going to be, in my opinion, maybe a collector's at one point. Give it some time, but like. I don't see the second gen being like that. I think the first gen will be something that people might value at one point or another once it goes through its drift phase, as I'm calling that, when that happens, when you can buy an FRS for like $5,000, and drift the shit out of it.
Oh, you fool. You think that cars will ever be cheap ever again? No, they're going to be like the new base Civic like 5 years from now is going to be 60 grand.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
It's gonna be because all the lenders are rubbing their hands together, going, "Oh yeah, lease that fucking Civic."
Yeah, don't you know, Tez? By 2030, you won't own anything. You'll just be like renting everything and leasing.
And you'll
everything.
be happy.
I will not. I would rather die than give up my ICE.
The funny thing is, I keep bringing up to everyone. Oh yeah, we gotta ban those cars, even though just like one Superliner, like Super Freightliner, pollutes more than every car in America combined. Oh, you gotta give up your fucking Geo Metro because of that.
And speaking of which, that's a good segue to our next topic: is the banning, or rather the regulation of.
Ooh. I've got a great topic about this.
Wait. First, I want to summarize this in one thing. That's my summarization. But go on, Liam. Sorry, I just had to summarize that.
You want to talk about you want to talk about how shit things are going to get?
Yes.
So fun fact, because I don't know if anyone else here watches Louis Rossmann, the Macintosh repair guy.
He's awesome.
I watch him here and there whenever he comes up on my feed.
So he brought up an interesting point, and I'm going to use that interesting point to just paint a picture of the absolute fucking hellscape that you guys have to look forward to.
Oh yeah,
so
that's exciting.
There was a company.
So what do you mean by you guys?
You too, Liam.
oh no, I've already accepted my fate.
I see. Is
that what you bought an Alto? You're preparing yourself for slow?
My Alto will I'll be like riding around in it. See, the best thing about right-hand drive is that I can shoot and drive at the same time.
There's gonna be like fucking like cyber police,
Yeah,
automated cars full of like multiple SWAT teams chasing you. Their cars can go 600 miles per hour on the highway.
Yeah,
they're in their Alto redlining at 45 miles per hour up a hill.
Car couldn't catch him.
And you're like shots at him.
But here, so Tesla, as you know, the models of cars, there's no difference between them. It just unlocks more features based on how much money you pay.
Oh no, I see where this is going.
Oh, it gets better.
It's already like that.
A company that made a little plugin that would unlock
DLC
of your Tesla. Mm-hmm. And it's like, great, cool. It cost like $500 less than what Tesla was charging, right? Tesla got wind, and they made it so that if you plug that into your car, all you get is a black screen, and you can't drive your car.
Yep.
So what happens is that now I'm going to brief this. It's going to be about the same with every other manufacturer, because they're looking at that and they're drooling. Oh my God, we can lock people out of their cars if they don't pay us more money.
Yep.
If you want to do anything to your car, you have to pay the manufacturer. You can't pay Joe Schmo.
BMW's already doing heated seat subscriptions.
Wait,
I bet you $10.
What subscriptions?
BMW is doing subscriptions for your heated seats. You have to pay monthly.
Oh, I remember hearing about this. Oh, but here, it's going to get better. It's going to get even, by better, I mean worse. So something else on the Rossman that he's been helping out with is he's been campaigning in Nebraska because new tractors will not let you repair them unless you bring them to a dealership.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking guarantee you,
that's been a thing that's been around for a while too, though.
Every auto manufacturer right now is doing everything they can, putting into like R&D, like how do we fucking make this happen with every car that we sell? How do we make it so that people, when they're leasing our pieces of shit, like if they want to fix something, they can't just bring it to like any repair place. They got to bring it to the dealer.
You can't take it to Joe Schmo. You have to pay full price of the dealer.
It's already been happening. That's what you're not realizing. Even back in like 2006. All the German car companies, you swap your car battery, guess what, motherfucker? You want to drive the car? You have to take it to the dealer for them to activate your battery.
Oh, yeah, error codes and shit like that. Limp motor shit,
Are you
right?
doing that with their, like, was it the oil change cartridge things? Like, you can't change the oil. You have to get, like, a cartridge for it. You have to take it to was it just imagining that?
I'm not too sure what you're talking about, but
I'm just saying that I am all too expecting that every fucking new car, they're doing the thing. They want to push leases. They don't want you to buy a car. They want you to
because then they get the product back and then they can resell it as a certified product because it was a lease, and then they make even more money. And actually, there are services that are coming up right now that are leasing services for used vehicles. Holy crap.
Yeah, and
imagine that. You'll never own your car. Get your own car now before this all kicks in, or you're screwed. That's how I can say.
Really bullshit, and it's going to get worse. And we're going to see more of a push towards electric cars because they're better for the environment. Please don't look at the lithium mine and the coal power plant.
I don't give a shit about electric cars, but I do give a shit about electric cars being cucked.
Yeah, you know what? If some auto manufacturer came out and was like, "Hey guys, here is a decently priced rear wheel or all wheel drive electric car that lets you do whatever you want with it. Have fun." I'd be like, okay, yep, gas is the past. Fucking sign me up, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I personally, I have nothing wrong with electric either. Like, as long as I have the freedom to do what I want with it. like, imagine this. Actually, to piggyback off what you're telling us, imagine you get a car and you get a performance variant of it. They'll maybe make you pay some exuberant fee to not have your warranty voided when you make modifications to it. If they're if they offer performance cars, imagine Subaru offering an electric WRX STI, and if you want to change any components on it, you have to spend $5,000 at like a flat rate, all right, to just your car will no longer get its warranty voided if you change something on it. Imagine that. Imagine just another thing they can make money off of, like the enthusiast industry, because it's still going to exist. And there's going to be people who are going to complain that they can't modify their cars. And so they're going to be like, well, you can pay this for this $5,000 package when you finance your car or lease it, and you can modify the shit out of it. As long as you, if you lease it, as long as you pay it off and keep it, it's all yours, have at it, chief.
Here's the thing with, just besides that, trying to make it more, money off making it, obsolete by design and stuff like that. There could be also a perfect opportunity to actually make electric cars modular, to make it possible to basically
that'd be so great.
Your own electric car, like you build your own PC or something.
Well, imagine you could pick your own motors for your car.
Cars are already modular.
Well, yeah, electric cars are basically modular already. They're just not set up, like nothing is set up to.
Well, no, but they electrically lock them down a lot, so they're not modular too. So also, they are physically modular, not digitally.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like you can order a bunch of parts online and just build it at home, like from different companies.
And actually, there's tons of companies that do that.
Oh, so we're talking about the open source GNU/car here that's been making the rounds on G for a while.
That'll definitely be a thing.
We need Pablo in here for that.
My car is running Arch Linux right now.
Oh no. The Arch Linux guy is here. He had to build his entire operating system himself.
I'll be there again soon, guys. I'm just having some kernel troubles. It'll take me about 5 hours to figure out what's wrong.
I only have to code all the modules just to make it do one very specific thing. Oh yeah, this is fun.
I love Linux. I don't have to deal with problems with my registry editor. Spend 6 hours trying to get web browser to work.
Pablo will have our heads for that one.
But like here's where I don't have hope is that electric cars don't need to be front wheel drive, right? There's no parasitic like loss in the powertrain. There's no reason that you couldn't put the motors in the back. And so what have car companies done? They've said, go fuck yourself. I think only one. I think Mitsubishi has one. Let me see. It's like
Teslas are rear wheel drive.
No, they're all wheel drive, but they're also expensive and poopy.
Aren't they all wheel drive? But like
They're
they still
rear-wheel
like
drive.
prioritize rear wheel.
The early Model S's are fully rear wheel drive.
Oh yeah, but they've drifted. Yes, I am fucking right. The IMEV, the Mitsubishi IMEV.
Mierda.
Yeah, basically, it's so ridiculous. Again, it's an electric K car,
Trash.
and it is a rear mid-engine
That doesn't mean
electric
shit.
car, which is so
What?
funny, so fucking
That's
funny.
amazing,
When
actually.
your car is taller than its wheelbase, mid-engine means nothing.
I just think, but like.
That's
that
fair.
is very funny that they could do it. It's an incredibly cheap car, and it sells like hotcakes. People can't get enough of the thing where it's sold. But you will not see. I don't see the Nissan Leaf being all-wheel drive or rear wheel. Like I don't see fucking the Chevy Bolt. I mean, which is one of the few kind of it's okay electric cars to me.
Yeah.
The Volt can suck shit. The Bolt's okay. The Bolt has like what, a 300-mile range? That's pretty
I think
good.
it's like 200 or something. That's still pretty good. That's comparable to Tesla.
Leafs
Yeah,
have
and
like a 60-mile range. They're shit.
Yeah, like I don't understand how people can how people can go ahead and buy that. Like, that's so cool. I can drive to my local fucking organic produce store in my city. It's only 5 blocks from my house.
Hey, you know what else?
Well,
Let me point something else out though. Let's just say you have a drill. The drill has an electric motor, like electric cars do, but it also has a ton of different speeds you can select for optimal, amount of torque or so on and so forth. You could make a manual transmission electric car with rear-wheel drive and no bullshit like DRM stuff.
Clutchless. You wouldn't have to have a clutch.
Yeah, but like they could make the electric car that enthusiasts want, but this isn't about electric cars. They want to just, even before the
normies.
electric cars reach the main market, become like the primary market share, they want to make cars not fun.
Oh, the side note: the Chevy Bolt current range is about 259 miles.
Good.
Not bad.
That's
sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say that it's just interesting because like what the MSRP is like $36,000, and for an electric car that's in that price range, like nothing compares.
No, it's the Chevy Bolt's actually back when it first came out, it was kind of the talk because of what it offered.
Yeah,
I don't know why it's not more popular. Like if people are buying fucking other shitty electric cars, like why not just buy that? And they're like,
yeah, seems kind of odd. But I wanted to say so what if that becomes the new enthusiast trend though, right? So if ICE vehicles are just being treated like shit all the time, nothing really stops you from converting your car, right? Like there's already companies that already offer tons of conversion kits, right?
Uh-huh.
So wouldn't that be the solution, right? Like you don't get cucked into any of this by just buying you don't even have to buy a working car. You buy a rolling shell, all right? And the kits out there will just add up to what you got, or made up to what you got.
What you're talking about right now, you're talking about the special build law, which because I've looked a lot into kit cars because I've always had a big thing for like, because if you make a car at home and you get your special build VIN, well, you can it doesn't matter what it is as long as it has like lights and windshield.
Yeah, well, it has to meet all so it has to meet some certain requirements, for like road stuff. But you built it yourself, so safety requirements, they don't even check that crap as long as you have a seat belt.
No, you have basically there. I just posted that's an MEV rocket, and that's like what fucking like. But then at that point, it's like what I'm thinking is, well, they're not going to let that last for much longer, would they?
Well, I don't know about that. Like,
what I'm saying is that they don't care about you or me. They care about the people with a lot of money, and they care about who if they get pissed about their Lamborghini being taxed too much, right?
Yeah.
So what they'll probably start doing, because they hate us, they fucking hate us, and they want us to suffer. What they'll probably start doing is they'll probably start trying to phase out any cheap way to have a performance car. Because look at this. Hey, look at this car. This car is dangerous. This car is danger to other people on the road. They're unregulated.
Well, that's kind of how Europe's gone. That's how specifically Britain's gone. It's like
especially Australia too.
Pretty much all these countries, they already have tons of restrictions that say, "Oh, your vehicle is considered unsafe if you change the wheels. If it's not a stock configuration, then you're a monster. You're gonna kill somebody." And then see, that's the part that I hate the most. Is like there seems to be this heavy focus on attacking the automotive community, despite vehicles being so like, especially in America, like where automotive manufacturing is so like important to our history, like we are the guys who really set the bar for like modifying muscle cars. What's up?
Europe and Japan, it's essential to their history also, but at the end of the day, there is a end goal to limit people's freedoms and have them constantly consuming the intended media.
Yep. Well, I mean, the solution at the end of the day is get it while you can now, because at the very least they can't ungrandfather you in. Hopefully.
Dude, why do you want to go drive? There's a new Marvel movie out.
Yeah, bro. Did you hear about Infinity War 7?
You want to consume? Oh, hey, pass me my government mandated soy. Thank you.
Yeah. Did you hear about the new Kraken coolers with RGB on them?
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Well, I think that's good enough for tonight. So the lesson we learned is to stockpile up on cars, stockpile up on ammo, just stockpile on cars. We don't want the ATF to listen on this, but
ATF, I'm sorry, I lost my car in a lake.
But anyway, it's a pretty good discussion for tonight. So thank you for tuning in to the California Touge podcast. Check us in next time, wherever. Well, again, we meet up, release through all this bullshit through COVID, staying home, and all the crap that's going on in the world. And hopefully, we can brighten up your time.
Fuck you, Governor Waltz, and fuck you, Governor Newsom.
Fuck Janice.
Yeah, fuck all those people too. Anyway, check you out next time. Have a good night.